Welcome to the LeakProof Life, the podcast that finally gives high-achieving women the whole picture on bladder leaks. I'm Dr. Juhi Patel, holistic pelvic floor PT, founder of Everwell Rehab, and the person who's going to tell you that Kegels, cutting coffee, and wearing a liner were never the full answer. Around here, we ditch the generic advice and go way beyond exercises. We get to the real reasons your bladder is running your life, your nervous system, your stress, your gut, your hormones, your habits, the whole picture finally. This is the show for women who has it together in every area of her life except this one. The one who hasn't told anyone. The one who is exhausted from managing around it and ready to actually fix it. Common doesn't mean normal, and normal doesn't mean permanent. This is your sign to stop managing and start fixing. Let's go. You know that thing where you walk into a new place, a hotel lobby, a conference center, a restaurant, any new place. And before you even sit down, your eyes are already scanning the room for the bathroom. You're already looking, where is the bathroom? Not because you need to go right now, but in your mind, you're just thinking, oh, just in case, I just want to know because I'll have to go anytime. Or maybe you're the person who booked the aisle seat on your last flight and it had nothing to do with legroom. Or you have packed an extra pair of underwear in your carry-on just in case. And you really hope no one ever asks why. If any of that is you, I see you. And today, we are going to talk about it. Because if you have ever felt like your bladder behaves one way at home and completely falls apart when you travel, there's actually a reason for that. It just does not happen out of blue. And more importantly, there are always ways to fix it. We all think like, oh, this has been going on, there's nothing I can do. But there are real strategies. We can work on having no surgery, no medication, no just wear a pad and deal with it. There are real holistic solutions. Let's get into it. I want to start today with the story of one of my clients. We'll call this woman Sarah. She's in her early 40s. She runs her own business. From the outside, she has everything together. Clients, calendar, career, everything is all perfect on the outside. One year, she was invited to speak at a major conference in her industry, the kind of opportunity she had been working towards for years. She said no. We would wonder like, oh, why she said no to such a big opportunity she was waiting. That was not because she wasn't ready, not because she had a conflict. She said no because she didn't trust her body to hold it together on stage for 40 minutes. She told me this months later when she started working with me, and she tried to laugh it off. But I could see it. That decision hurt her. It did hurt her career because this isn't just about leaks. The trips you didn't take, the aisle seats you always chose, the dinners you leave early, the presentations where you are so focused on your bladder that you can barely focus on what you came to say. And if you're listening right now, you probably know exactly what I mean. So today, this episode is for Sarah and for you, for any woman who's suffering dealing with this and has not found a solution. Why travel makes it worse? Let's talk about what's actually happening. One of the most common things women tell me is this: I'm fine at home, but the second I travel, my bladder completely falls apart. And the reason is your nervous system. All comes down to our nervous system. Your bladder and your nervous system are deeply, deeply connected. When you travel, your body experiences a change in the environment. Even if it's exciting travel or if you're traveling for work, your nervous system registers it as stress. Change in schedule, change in time, change in like your hydration, and when that happens, your body releases stress hormones. Adrenaline shoots up, cortisol shoots up. Think about it, your whole system gets directly stimulated. That affects the control of your bladder, which means your bladder contracts more often than it needs to. So it starts overworking and suddenly you feel urgency way sooner than you normally would. And to add to that, moreover, we get less sleep, more caffeine, we are trying to catch up. Long periods of sitting, a disrupted routine, and your bladder gets overwhelmed. So if your urgency gets worse when you travel, now you know what are the factors that causing it. It's not in your head. You're really feeling it. Before we talk about what actually helps, if you travel frequently for work and this is something you're quietly navigating every single trip, this is exactly the kind of thing we work through inside the LeakProof method. Not generic advice, but a real solution for your very specific triggers, your specific patterns, your routines. If you want help with that, there's a link below. Do check it out. Book a free call so we can talk and discuss and actually find a solution, what we can do about it. Let's start with a trap. I call it travel trap. Almost everyone falls into it. The just in case pee. Before leaving the hotel room, you go. We all do. I mean, I often do it too. Before the keynote starts, you go. At every conference break, I always we all look for the bathroom. You go. Not because you need to, just in case. It feels logical, right? It feels smart, but it's actually training your bladder in wrong direction. It's actually not helping it. Your bladder is a muscle. It does get a lot of signals. A muscle learns from repetition. We all know if we train any part of our body, we are training it with repetition. When you empty it before it's actually full again and again and again. And your bladder learns that this small volume is what full feels like. So it sends urgency signals earlier, which makes you go sooner, which trains it to hold even less. And the whole cycle continues. The next one, the hydration myth. The second trap is dehydration. A lot of women start drinking less water when traveling. The thinking is simple here. Less in, less out. But when you drink less water, your urine becomes very concentrated. Concentrated urine irritates the bladder lining. And that irritated bladder makes urgency worse. So the goal isn't less water, but to hydrate enough. It's like smarter hydration. Drinking more water, most of your water intake earlier in the day, and then tapering down in the evening. Your bladder stays hydrated without being overwhelmed. So what actually works? I call this the travel reset. 3 things we focus on. First, we need to work on calming your nervous system. Before a meeting, before walking on stage, before a long flight, or before your long travel day, take 1 minute to breathe. Focus on your deep belly breathing. Deep inhale, 4 counts in, hold it for 4 counts, 4 counts out, slow exhale. Repeat that 4 times. This sends safety signals to your nervous system. And when your nervous system calms down, your bladder does calm down too. Second, we need to learn to surf the urge. That sudden urgency wave is not an emergency. It's a bladder spasm. Your bladder is just overworking, I would say like overacting. And like a wave, it peaks and then it fades. When it hits, you pause. You don't rush. You don't follow that signal. Do 3 to 5 quick pelvic floor squeezes. Need to distract. Fast contraction, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So it's like trying to train it to not rush to the bathroom. This sends a signal to your bladder to settle down. Then breathe. Let the wave pass. Then walk calmly to the bathroom. Third, create a predictable routine. Predictability is very important for your bladder. Your bladder loves consistency. Instead of reacting to every urge, give yourself a planned bathroom break. Every 2.5 to 3 hours, you decide the schedule. You pre-plan it. Your bladder doesn't do it. Don't let the bladder be the boss. And if urgency shows up in between, that's when you practice urge suppression. Before we finish, I want to zoom out for a moment because bladder urgency might seem like a small problem, but it is affecting a lot of things you want to do in your life. But it rarely stays small. It becomes the trip you didn't take, the opportunity you passed on, the event you left early. So you see how many things in your life you're saying no to, and over time, it quietly shrinks your whole world. But it doesn't have to. This is one of the most treatable things I work with. Women who thought they would manage it forever and at the end opt in for surgery, medication, all the ways they could solve it, they often see huge changes by doing this in just a few weeks. And that freedom, that confidence in your own body again is absolutely possible. So let's recap quickly here. Travel increases urgency because your nervous system is in the stress mode. Just in case shrinks bladder capacity. Cutting water irritates your bladder. And the three things that helps most are your nervous system, surfing the urgency wave, and creating a consistent routine. If you want help working through this properly, you can book a free call with me through the link below. And if this helped you today, share it with someone you know has been dealing with this, because there is probably a woman in your life quietly dealing with this, and she deserves to know she's not alone. And there is a solution out there. I'll see you next time.